around it, and albeit that it doesn't sound like there's anything negative intention, but somebody's going around trying to start supporting kids club or some gathering with kids, and pulling up on the side of the road, hey, let me tell you about this. But it feels kind of creepy if you're in the wrong, in this kind of world. So definitely make contact with the person and kind of tell them to look for some better opportunities. Maybe rent your clubhouse if anyone's listening. Maybe rent your clubhouse or find some other forum to kind of gather people. So in this case, it doesn't seem to be anything nefarious, but maybe we can choose different avenues, maybe trying to gather people for groups. Is there a website where somebody can post something to say, hey, we're having a meeting, we're renting the clubhouse for that kind of purpose? So that would be my recommendation. Maybe have a forum in here where adults can be here. We had a burglary in progress to a vehicle. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. It appears the door was unlocked, and they got some items outside of the car, and no suspect information other than the fact that the vehicle was a silver car, but no data on that. We had one small fire with a pot on the stove, so it didn't burn the house down. There was no major damage or anything. A couple of civil matters, a couple of disturbances, and a couple of burglary alarm calls. So if you have an alarm, use it. The alarms work. At least it calls the cops out, and the sirens are going to go off. Hopefully, scare the bad guy away. So I'd rather come off the false alarms really than anything. And that's it. Anything that was report taken in Minnesota, that was it for the month. And overall, that's pretty darn good. Now, just outside of Minnesota is a separate zone, and it includes the Walmart, the Taco Bell, the 7-Eleven, and things up there. And unfortunately, we go to the Walmart quite often. Somebody was stealing something up there and confronted by the loss prevention, pulled out a knife on the loss prevention person, so that turned into a robbery statute. So there was an armed robbery up there. That wasn't their goal to go rob the place, but the statutorily, so they allowed robbery was putting something in here. So they meant to just steal some items, not like rob something. But that's how you hear it. A couple of disturbances. One was a domestic violence up the road at one of the restaurants. Burglary at the church up the road to a vehicle. Here, it looks like it was left unlocked. The credit card was then used a couple stores down the road, down on 192. And a couple other retail thefts at Walmart. So, overall, for this region, we're not doing bad. The construction, we can park the stores. Hopefully, that's getting better to these parts of the road. That's it for the area. I got a couple other just things. I see you got new garage sales coming up, and I just want to remind everybody, when doing these garage sales, I personally don't partake in my neighborhood garage sales. I think we invite a lot of people in the neighborhood who normally would be traveling in these neighborhoods. You'll get your garage doors wide open. They're looking at everything you own, whether you want to sell it or not. Now you're giving these people an idea what the inside of the house looks like. I've seen some neighborhoods where somebody asks, hey, can we use your bathroom? It's creepy letting some strangers in your house use your bathroom, but just use caution. If you're going to do a garage sale, maybe consider putting stuff on the driveway, close the garage door, don't let anybody in your house. There's no sense inviting strangers further in your house. In other neighborhoods, I've had people keep the keys in their cars, only to find out later on the keys were stolen. They come back later at night and steal the car from the driveway. So it's all from a garage sale. So use a little common sense. Spring break is also coming up. Kids have, I think, 4 days of school next week, and then they're off for 11 days. What happens when kids don't have to do it early to go to school? They're going to run around and get stupid in the neighborhood. So again, keep your eyes out on anything you see suspicious. If you have kids, check on them, keep them home, and make sure you don't get harassed. A couple other things this Saturday is our Community Appreciation Day. We'll go over at the Sheriff's Office. That's from 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock. And we're still setting it up today. Tomorrow we're getting ready for all that. Eat like free hot dogs and chips and drinks and like a bunch of entertainment coming out. We've got almost 60 different vendors coming out this year. Appreciation Day, so it's 10 in the morning to the afternoon over at the Sheriff's Office. And then I'll get you the exact date, and I'll give you all one of the flyers. Coming up in April, we have what we call Got Drugs. And that's where we partner with the DEA. If you have old expired medications, things you don't have anymore, or you don't want to use anymore, we collect that safely, we send it back to the DEA for about disposal. So you don't flush it down the toilet, don't dump it in the garbage. Don't let kids get to it. We'll take care of it safely and dispose of it. But I'll get you all the flyer. That's coming up, I want to say April 24th. But I'll get you the locations where we're going to be moving around here. And that's about all I've got, really. Any quick time for a couple of questions from the board as well? Anybody got anything?
Quick question. The mornings in this community around between 6 and 7 o'clock, there's a lot of pedestrian traffic going to the bus stop at the entrance. That intersection, since they started that construction, a lot of people try to jump the red light by cutting across the Walmart parking lot. I have seen more than one instance that people, even when the bus is stopped with the lights on, they pass behind the bus, and when they start going up behind the bus, they will encounter the traffic of pedestrians going across the parking lot of Walmart. the parking lot of Walgreens going towards the bus. That is a very dangerous maneuver. I called the ESO at one time. We got coverage one day, but the next day, things went back to.
And that one's hard. And I wrote it down here, so I'll let the traffic people know about it. We've got, Osceola County's got over 8,000 different bus stops. And we've got 7 traffic units to try to cover 8,000 bus stops. So it's definitely trying, continue to call in. If you see any unsafe traffic, stuff like that, please call it in. I'll note it and get it on the list for coverage. Not a day go by. I sit on Boggy Creek Road trying to get through that traffic every morning, and every single day I stop somebody. We're driving, seeing it down the middle of the road, people just drive flat crap. So again, you use a little bit of concept, don't block somebody in, don't police them yourselves, that just gets into road rage.
Well, and the problem here is that first at 6 o'clock, between 6 and 6:20, it's still dark. Those kids, they don't see the car coming, and they don't walk around with lights on themselves.
Right.
Once a person coming from Osceola Parkway, engage into trying to beat the light, by the time they turn behind that bus, it's too late for them to stop, because they actually zoom through there.
Exactly. Unfortunately, Florida, for I think the 13th year, Central Florida, and 13th year in a row, is the most dangerous place in America for pedestrians, and the pedestrians killed. So, again, that's a stat that we don't like to win. Just use caution in the morning, talk to your kids, talk to family members. People doing this on their phones, walking in the traffic.
That's 100% of the
And not saying the kids are at fault, pedestrians typically have the right of way, however, pedestrians just can't throw it out in the road in front of everybody. So, hopefully it's a two-way street and everyone paying attention and maybe a little bit more safety minded. Hopefully we'll bump ourselves down maybe number 2 on that list, hopefully further down. But I'll note that people go Walmart.
Thank you.
So, any other questions or anything? Happy to answer. Forward.
So on that same topic, I ride my daughter to school every morning. And one of the issues we have is all the cars parked on the side of the street, leaving the kids that go take the bus, right? So by the time the bus is going, it takes like 5 minutes to complete all the traffic.
Right.
So if there would be a way to let these people know that they can park in the parking lot and let all those 2 lanes free for traffic.
Yeah,
That would be a suggestion.
And again, we see it every day, and it's frustrating that I have enough tickets in the world to write everybody who really needs one. People in today's society are me, to heck with everybody else. Drop off in front of the school, they can't drop off here, they have to sit in the car and wait till they go here to drop their kid off. Like the valet is gonna come out on a red carpet. What are we teaching our kids? Unfortunately, people are selfish in today's world, and if I could write them tickets, I would certainly write them more.
Well, I don't think it's about writing tickets.
I think so.
Most people is not aware of this. It's just make it aware.
It clogs the streets for one, so it lessens your traffic flow, but then people also have kind of sometimes a bad meaning behind what they're doing, and it just causes frustration on everybody's part. So, please, people drive like you'd like other people to drive, On the same note, I tell our deputies, if you're on a traffic stop, treat that person on a traffic stop like you want another cop to treat your mother on a traffic stop. To me, it's a two-way street. I'll give everyone all the respect they deserve, vice versa. So, please, just treat all mankind really, appropriately, and hopefully things go a little bit smoothly. But I'll put the notes on the traffic thing for that one and have to check the street.
Yeah, and just to extrapolate a little bit on that as well, with the construction being there, making a left coming from Osceola Parkway onto Simpson has been an issue. Cars get backed up, just recently they closed it down to one lane.
Right.
So now what happens is we have a myriad of cars coming into Puerto del Sol Boulevard, going through the Walgreens and coming out, making the traffic even worse.
Or doing the U-turn.
Technically, it's a violation of cutting across to avoid. Hopefully, they can speed this up and get.
So my question was gonna be like, is there any way that the county can provide maybe random traffic sheriff to come around, maybe move cars around?
Yeah, good. I'll note it. You know, again, it depends on calls for service. Somebody robbing the Walmart obviously is going to take people away from that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And things like that happen all over. But I'll note it on their list to keep an eye on this general
We
area.
appreciate
So,
that,
I know
yeah.
traffic is challenging, and as we're talking about stoplights, if you can't clear the intersection, even though you have a green stop behind the white line, don't clog up the intersection. That's-
Correct.
I really want to stand out there
Yeah.
and stop all 9 cars blocking the
That
road.
happens a lot.
That screws up traffic.
Yep.
Alternating trying to get out. So don't block the intersection, then it also helps a little bit. So, anything else?
That's it, I think. Anybody
I'm
else?
always happy to answer questions, you know, you just invite me back if y'all, want us to come back and have any questions, please let the board know, they can invite me to come out to, any meeting in the future.
Thank you so much, sir, and we
Thank you.
will invite you again.
I'll get you the information on the got drugs to pass out to everybody.
That sounds good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night,
Be
sir.
safe.
Take care.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and open the floor to the homeowners. Anybody that wants to make a comment on agenda items only, we will talk about other items at the end of the meeting.
I'd like to talk about the cost of 30 of these here, 45 cents a piece.
Okay, what's your comment?
Email them out. Email doesn't.
Not everybody in the community has an email, sir. Okay, we've been doing this for over a year now. We're printing some copies for the people that come.
30 of them. It's a waste of money.
It's always been 30.
Well, I
Yes,
have
sir.
to tell the law again, okay? People keep talking the WhatsApp, oh, it's taking too long, or this and that. And I did it about 4 times already. When I get there, I start 1,001, 1,002, 1,003. Sometimes I get to 1,012. And the more that I get, 1,015. I'm talking about 15 seconds. And people crying about it in the WhatsApp, this and that. I think the way you have the law is fine with me. You know.
I appreciate that. It's a CDD issue, but I appreciate you saying that. Anybody else? All right. Thank you very much once again, all for coming, and we will move on to acceptance of the minutes from January 25th. Has everyone on the board had a chance to review them? Any comments or discussions on the matter?
I do have a comment or correction. It says that my name is on the list of attendance and I wasn't. I was not present.
Okay. So have him removed? Okay, you got it? Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't heard him or not. Anything else?
I already gave Mary a whole bunch of edits. The only one, that we didn't get to complete, was for 2929, Puerto del Sol. We approved money for repairs there. I don't remember the fee, how much it was.
Approved for what?
2929 Puerto del Sol. We approved money. I just don't remember the amount. Urban, I know you're pretty.
But are you talking roof, or I'm trying to find out what it's
That, I
about?
just had noticed that we approved money. We were going so fast and hot heavy. It just is not on the digital copy that we need to be added, so we.
I will have to go back and review the video then. I don't remember off the top of my head either.
Yeah, we had so many that we were going, I just wrote down addresses that,
Okay, anything
I'll
else?
look back.
All right, can somebody make a motion then to approve the minutes as amended, and management will look at the video and try to clarify the issue on 2929 Puerto del Sol. I really think it's a roof, but
I think it is
Yeah.
too, but I don't
Yeah, I do
remember.
remember we approved up to a certain dollar amount, but I
It
can't.
was $1,500
No, I think the 1,500 was for the gutters.
the gutters is
Yeah.
near 12.
1500 was for the gutters, but this one,
I think that one was like 2,900 and something, if I'm not mistaken, but it's better just to
yeah.
look into it or get the report from that meeting, the manager's report, the board packet.
I could also look through records, I think it was in the agenda. I just haven't had time to get through it. We didn't add, just a note, we need to get that added, and amended.
So I made a motion to accept the meeting minutes as amended.
Do I have a second? Second by Jose. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And Marcelo abstains, so passes.
6-1.
Yes.
I wasn't present, so.
I understand. All right. Manager's report was included in the packet. I want to take a moment to introduce our new manager. Her name is Mary James. She's still with Artemis, and she comes with a lot of experience. I don't know if anybody had a chance to read her announcement that was mailed out to everybody. But so far, we're trying to work hard to clean up everything and try to make things better for us. Mary?
I'm just gonna give you a quick summary of what I gathered from the previous month. Based on the financial report, the financial for the month of January, from January 1st to January 31st, operating cost was $267.268.77. Prepay assessment is $80,343.84. Outstanding AP is $8,723.84. Account receivable is $178.862.50. The following item for GeoCode went over budget a little bit. We have, sorry, my screen. We have GeoCode number 61100 for office expenses. That was a mailer for the town hall meeting. The reason happened. You have 6160 for miscellaneous for MSFP charges from the period of June 2023 all the way to the January 2024. In addition to that, we have collected assessment for $68,680.71. The cost of the collected assessment was $12,544.80. 11 accounts and intend to leave. One late notice so far for the month of January. Last property inspection was in January 2nd, 2024. We have opened 76 standard violations. 2 ARC applications approved, 7 applications, ARC applications pending, 0 denials. The town hall meeting was held and was scheduled on January 25th, 2024. And that is what I have.
Was this the date or was it February?
For January, for February, the report for the management report will be a little bit more condensed. I will include more about the final step violations. They are ready to move forward for the attorney. I also will include the task throughout the month and how much we have accomplished. Any communications, any open tasks, any new projects, that's what it's going to be included for the February.
Okay, thank you very much. The only correction I have is on the town hall meeting for townhomes was February 8th, not the 25th. That was our board meeting. So just so you can correct that for your records. The last line. Okay, moving on to the legal report. Oh,
Wait. February 8th was the town hall.
Was it 8 or
meeting.
7? Now I gotta look. It was either 8 or 7. Let me look. I know it was a Tuesday, right?
Usually was.
No, it was a
Thursday.
Thursday. It was the 8th. Yeah.
Thank you.
So you have the town meeting on the 8th, and then you also have the board meeting on the 25th.
The board meeting was on the January 25th. That's correct. And board meetings are always on the last Thursday of the month. But that town hall meeting was on February 8th.
Thank you.
Okay? You're all set? Mary?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Legal.
So breaking down that receivable number a little bit more, Mary told us she had $178,000 in outstanding collectibles. 109 of that is left over from special assessment, and that's broken up over 135 different accounts. So that means a spread of about $70,000 in normal collections that we're looking at just from regular assessments. Of that $70,000, I've got liens that are ready to go on about 40 of it. give or take a couple of dollars. Of that 70, another 20 are from accounts that have a balance of less than 2 months or less than 2 payments behind. So they're not even on the radar. Okay, and that leaves a spread of about 10,000 accounts. There's $10,000 worth. And those accounts are in the AR report between the special assessments and the regular delinquencies. Because of the way this is formatted, it's kind of hard to tell what's a special assessment and what's not. So most of the stuff that I've been working with has been a reconstruction from last year before the special assessment went into effect, because the AR report was separate. So I've been using that to kind of gauge like which ones are normal assessments versus which one are special assessments based on this. So, but anyway, but again, of the 70,000 that's outstanding, the bulk of it, I've already got liens that are ready to go, and then 20 of it hasn't hit the threshold for me to be on the radar yet anyway. So as far as collections go, we're doing all right in that respect. So there's 213 accounts that currently have a balance, but that is including the special assessment homes and the normal assessment homes. And all I did to figure that out was just take the AR report and start counting lines. And I came up with 213. So some of those could be duplicates, like you owe a special assessment and you owe your regular assessment. That would count as double because they're not split up here by like special assessment and normal assessment. The 18 accounts that the board authorized to move forward with last month, I have not done anything with those at the request of the board. So those are still ready to go if the board decides to move forward with them. Other than that, the request was made to me last week to include a draft of an amended corporate resolution for special assessment collections, a copy of which I put in the file. I know it's not on the agenda for tonight, but just so you have it, you guys can flip through it, make some edits, corrections, critiques, whatever you want, and then between now and next meeting, we can hammer out a final version. That's it for me, unless you guys have any questions.
Any questions?
No.
Okay. We'll move on then. Treasury report?
So Mary covered pretty much everything. What I would say is that the stars look pretty good. On the townhome side also, we see a nice reserve. And given all the things that are going to be needed, that's encouraging. And lastly, on last month's report, we asked for some corrections to Artemis and some additional information. We got that, I would say about maybe 2 weeks ago, something like that. And unless the financial committee has any further comment, I think that looks okay.
We're still waiting on her.
We're still waiting on other information that was not provided, but a lot of what we asked was provided. There's still things that we're waiting.
What are we waiting on so that Mary knows and she can follow through with this?
I would have to go through the email and see specifically what I will.
Can someone on the financial committee shoot her an email with whatever's missing?
Yeah.
Please? Okay,
We can do that.
all right. Thank you, Marcel.
Yep.
And welcome back.
Thank you.
Secretary's report?
All right, not much to report. Just trying to keep track of everything that's there. I was able to get up my hands on the boxes that were in storage. They have been brought out of storage. There's 4 of them that were remaining. I'm going to spend some time sifting through that and ensuring everything that's important is pulled out, digitally scanned, stuff that is just fluff or out of statute limitations that we don't have to keep will be shredded and disposed of properly. So just a lot of stuff, a lot of disorganization. You guys were there for me, look through the original boxes so you understand what it is. But I think it's going to be a lot of just other stuff. But anything that's within statutes we'll take and get compared to what is digitally recorded for us. Make sure that we're not going to purge anything that we should be retaining. That's pretty much all I have.
Okay, thank you, Kurt. Mary, I have a question. So any documents that Corey determines that are not necessary, what is the appropriate way of disposing of that? Should it go back to management for shredding, or should we shred it, or?
You can either hire, one of the shredding companies to do it and have a receipt on file for that.
Do you need a receipt? Okay.
Or you can actually bring it back and have them do it.
Yeah.
They're gonna.
It's better management.
Yes, so whatever you guys decided to do. But you have to have any sort of documentation that you actually shred the supplements. And then you can go and you can sell it.
Doesn't have to be a paid for service, correct? Just has to be a documentation. Because I know you can go down to Staples and they have shred boxes that are there, then
That's
the public can go
You
drop
got the
stuff.
Staples and shreds it? As long as you get a receipt, I think.
But I would suggest, like, what we did last time is better than Artemis, and they have their own, and they gotta do their receipt. You know, my opinion, that would be the best.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jose.
My suggestion is that before we shred one paper, we need to make an inventory as to what documents are going to be.
That's what he's doing.
That's what Corey's doing, right?
Yeah,
Corey?
a lot of it is just a lot of sale paperwork from when the original developer said. So like, so
We can
we
put
can make a short inventory list of what's there.
category,
there's-
sales and then, what we don't want is to not be able to know
What was what?
what was there.
Yep, nope, already on it. But this stuff goes back to the original sale for the developer, and right now he's going, it's interesting to see now. Like, oh, did we give him that? It's like, did we, do this? So it's interesting to see some of the original paperwork.
Yeah,
themselves.
and if it's so irrelevant, then we can take it over to Staples and have it disposed there.
Sounds like some of that stuff might not even be a corporate record to begin with.
Exactly, but the point is that another administration comes on, they know where to dump it.
Yep, already on it.
So what's the board's directive? Is it gonna take it to Staples to shred, or is it gonna take it back to Artemis?
I would say whatever's the most cost effective. Artemis is gonna charge us, and we can do it free at Staples, then why wouldn't we take the free option?
It's free at Staples to shred?
As far as I know. I'll look.
I've never heard that before.
I know.
There is a box by where they use the computers or the printers, that it's a big box. I think it's only for the purpose, like somebody wanna shred like a couple pages, for 4 boxes like that, you need to ask them, I guess.
I know last time when we did it, Artemis didn't charge because we put it in the boxes that they have.
Yeah, we also filled every box in the office.
Yeah.
Maybe,
We'll look at.
Mary, can you find out
I
about,
can find out.
and let us know if there's gonna be a charge for that or not?
Yep. I
Thank
can
you.
do that tomorrow.
Thank you.
You very welcome.
Okay, let's move then. Okay, committee reports, Architectural Review Committee.
Okay, we have our committee meeting this past Tuesday. Looked at 8 different applications. All here from my notes and the minutes. We approved 6. 1 was denied due to neighbors being installed over utilities and blocking various things. And we had 1 request for widening a screen enclosure that I personally went and looked at along with the vice president over there. I looked it over. I believe it raises issues with resident safety because the way the house is situated, it has a large pool in back, and there's crowding, and a young child, lady, that has fallen in the pool several times, and it's not beyond belief to have somebody get dead and drown. And they want to increase the width of their lanai so they have to maneuver around it. The issue is, as was brought up in the meeting, that there are utility easements. No one really knows whether those extend beyond the end of the house. If they extend beyond the end of the house, then you have an issue, you cannot widen. We didn't make a motion, I made a motion to approve the application. I got a second, motion failed. So I motion to send this application to the full Little Soul HOA board for review on 2/29, 24 regular meeting. And that was approved. So we ordered this to you.
Mark, can I ask you a question in regards to that? Has the homeowner done a survey, or has the homeowner contacted the county to find out what the easements are on their property? Because I feel like they were gonna extend the lanai or anything like that, you know?
They're gonna expand it past the edges of the house.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, at that point, if
I'm not aware that he has.
yeah, I think the onus is on him at that point to prove that there's not any issues with the county at that point.
Well, it's gonna be on a survey map.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying, it's, at that point, that's one where I think uniquely that they would have to actually get a survey done and make sure that utility easements are, you know, being handled appropriately, before you can rotate anything like this.
Okay.
So, I'd like to say something about this. So this raises several issues, right? The first thing is the ARC voted not to approve it, so that's my understanding is. You made a motion to approve it and it failed.
Correct.
So technically it's denied. I don't know why the issue came to us, but I'm glad you brought it because we can talk about it now. But in the essence of your functions as an ARC, I think if you guys decide that it's not gonna pass, it failed. And the denial should have been sent to the homeowner in a timely fashion. But we're here, this kind of modification to a lot raises lots of questions. We have full service landscaping. The landscaping machines may not be able to get through once he takes half of that opening between the houses. And we have that problem right across the street at 28, what's the house next to you, 2807, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, one of the houses next to Herman has that problem. They have lots of palm trees on the sides of their house and the machine can't get through, so they have to hand cut that. And you know, that's not a good way to do the landscaping. So that's one issue. The other issue is you're also impinging on the space that's available to the adjacent house in case they want to bring things through to their backyard. Now you cut their opening in half. Technically, if I'm not wrong, and maybe legal can indulge in this with us, is I believe that there's a reason why there's a minimum setback line between houses, and this to allow enough space for maneuverability and easement for utilities and all these things. So I personally don't feel that anything should be approved that encroaches on that space. And I don't know if the lawyer has a separate opinion on that, but I don't think any property should be able to encroach on that space.
Give me a second, let me pull the paragraph that talks about it.
You were gonna say something, Mark?
I want to say that, I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I am looking at it as a perspective of safety.
Mhm.
And to be perfectly honest, that lot, you know it, you saw it too, is really not big enough to have this size house with a pool on it. Without a pool, it would have been fine. But with that pool, and do you remember if that pool was built with the house?
After.
Okay, so they added that afterwards. Should never have been approved, but I'm sure that was the building. And so, it is to me, something you've got to balance that. Because the way they've got that, with the furniture and everything, there's not enough room for a human being to reliably be able to walk around the pool without running the risk of falling in. And,
So, Mark, can I ask you a question?
yes,
I don't know the house, I haven't seen it, but I want to take a look at this from a product point of view. If I have a room in my house that is tiny and I buy a king's bed, and then I don't have room to walk around, is that on me or on the builder? It's on me, right?
that would be on you.
Okay. So if I buy a house and I have a specific amount of land on my backyard that I own, and I can do whatever I want in that specific backyard. If I occupy the whole thing with the pool, or 90 or 95% or 80% of the space with the pool, should I be able to request more space because I built a big pool. And that's the question I think Mario's going there too. If we allow that, then everybody else can say, well, I did the same, so I need more space. And that, I think that's the question we
Right,
want.
he had built the pool. But I do not believe that he put the pool there. I believe that was done prior to him purchasing.
Correct, but you also look at most pools, including my pool, I can't walk on the other side of my pool. Every time I clean my pool, I do the back wall, I fall to the pool sometimes.
Matter of fact,
Because that's the way the pools were built here. You can only access it for certain areas. The other side, I have maybe 4 inches, 6 inches maybe at best. So because of the setback line, and that's unfortunately something that we have to adhere to. I mean, I don't think we need to get involved in the aspect of, you know, county regulations and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, you have to look at it from the point of view, what effect that's gonna have on the functionality in the community with the landscaping. And 2 is, how is the neighbor next door gonna feel of now having this stretched onto closer to his house when he's supposed to have a 10-foot buffer between the 2 properties, because they should be 5 feet from each side. So,
And Mario, I do absolutely agree with you on that. The only reason I bring up the survey or anything like that is it's a definitive legal ruling at that point, and then the board's not even involved.
no, I understand. I'm not saying you're saying different. I'm just saying in general, like, you know, it shouldn't really matter what the county says. It's just that we have to protect the setbacks that have been set, because the other owner bought a property knowing that he had 10 feet between the houses. And we cannot let a homeowner just impinge on that, because otherwise everyone's gonna wanna do it, and then you're not gonna get any landscaping done, and it's gonna be
On the second question here, if you don't mind me interrupting.
No, it's
Mario, does he have a safety fence around the pool?
No, he does not.
You can.
No, he doesn't have that.
Yeah,
which one?
the safety
a
fence.
safety fence around the pool.
I know the house has it, but I don't think he's
Does he
using
put it
it.
up?
Yeah.
Okay. With the kids, I think I would use it, but, you know, that's obviously that's his choice, but I feel like I have to agree with Mario. I just don't see it as being a good idea. The minute you start letting people expand on the lanais, then more people are gonna wanna do it, and then all of a sudden, we're gonna live in a concrete.
I feel like I have to point out that I have seen several houses that have done that. They have expanded.
So at their discretion.
You've seen other houses in the community like that?
They already have that.
Expanded to the size?
Yes, I mean, it's.
Well, I would like to know which houses are those, because I'd like to see it.
I don't tell you off the top of my head, but I know I've seen it.
So,
I'm gonna say, I've seen people put vegetation in that area, but vegetation's temporary, you can remove it and cut it.
I think one, and I was looking for something else across the street. What the heck? Lanai extended out about 5 or 6 feet.
I assure you it was not approved though.
I would imagine it was done sometime in the deep dark past.
If you can do us a favor and let us know which properties those are, I mean, I'd be happy to go take a look at it and see, and
I can run on to it.
management can look into it and see if that was approved or not. And, I mean,
When?
huh?
When?
And then we have to figure that out too.
Right. Yep.
Any update on?
Yeah, so the answer is that the ARC can absolutely take those things into consideration when approving or disapproving. The only caution I would give you is if you disapprove it, that person does have appellate rights. So if we get a letter back saying, I want it reconsidered, there's some extra stuff we gotta do to make sure that we stay good. So just keep an eye out. for
Like what stuff?
Like, we're required to have another verified letter sent to them, and we have to do a rehearing within 30 days after the request is received in writing. Like, it's all in the same paragraph here in Article 4 of the CCMRs. So just keep an eye on that. If we get a letter back from Hallmark, just let me know, and I'll follow along.
Because I know if they appeal and we don't respond in a timely fashion, they get automatically get
It's
approved.
approved. It's
So we have
approved.
to be careful with that.
That's what I'm saying, we gotta watch out for that, so I'm just putting everybody on notice, I'll keep an eye out for that.
That happened to one.
Like I said, I felt like we discussed.
No, that's good.
I see that the board does not want to do that. I can certainly see the reasons why they could, and so that's fine. Like I said, you already failed, but I didn't get a second.
So, I just want to say that if we as a board are allowed to consider exceptions,
I'll have to consider what, I'm sorry?
exceptions.
Exceptions, gotcha. I'm sorry, I didn't.
I think we should consider this and see if it comes to the level of granting an exception. Because if the document says that we have that ability, we should do something at least to complain with that and say, okay, we consider it, we're still saying no. That's what I would say. If we have in our document something that says that we can look for exceptions, we should at least take a look at that before we say yes or no. Still, I still have the same issue, right? If I have a small room and I bought a king's bed, it's on me, right? But you bring a good point. If the person bought the house with own in and in this condition, well, that's different. And
Yeah,
to what extent, I don't know, but it is different.
something else we can do is, the military's got a saying, like, try to find a way to get to yes, right? And so if we're gonna issue a denial, let's make sure we're telling the homeowner why we denied it, because he or she could resubmit with a different site plan. Maybe it's like not quite as far out, a little bit shorter, change however they wanna do it, which may eventually get them a yes, so it keeps your homeowner happy, but at the same time, we're not fundamentally altering the, the layout.
This is the second time this has been brought up.
So they just keep resubmitting the same plan.
Now, two more points I want to make. So I believe there's a swale, a drainage swale between the houses in that area. And that, I think, will pose another issue for the neighbor next door. Now, the second question is, if we get to yes, by whatever means necessary, does the adjacent neighbor have standing ground to say, I didn't want it there, they didn't tell me about it, now it's causing problems to me, and they sue us for approving it?
Because we have the discretion to do it, so the neighbor wouldn't have.
Even though it's causing them problems?
Yeah, so, because, and keep in mind, remember that we're only approving the aesthetics, right? They still have to go to the county and get all the proper permits and all that pulled. Now, the county might come back and be like.
But I don't think they're gonna do that because there's an existing enclosure, they're just gonna extend it. So I don't think they're gonna do that.
Like, you mean the county's not gonna?
I don't think the homeowner's gonna go to the county.
But
Any approval that we issue should have like a big blocked line at the bottom that says approval by the HOA should not be taken to consist of approval from the county or the city. Right, so even if we're like, hey, aesthetically, we're good, you still need to go to the county, and if the county's gonna object for elevation, or it's a easement violation, or whatever, they can absolutely still do that, and our approval would be nothing to overrule that, right? So all we're doing is saying aesthetically, you're in the guideline.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but that's only dependent if the homeowner goes to the county. But if the homeowner doesn't do that because there's an existing enclosure already there
So,
and they just extend it, then we have nothing to.
Well, if you do an approval, sorry, if you do an approval with a contingency of a full survey and permitting, you know.
But what I will do now is like it already failed, it's denied. So the letter have to say that it's denied because this reason and done. And if they reapply or they appeal, then we go to that. Right now, we don't have it, so I think we don't need to.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I mean, we're-
but I think we should do our homework in the interim just in case it comes back.
Yep.
So we're more prepared because
That's the thing is,
I,
find out what we need to do, be prepared, like you're saying, so that we know, like, we're at answer when we go forward. Like I said, all this needs to be talked about, just so we know.
okay, let's do that.
That's good. I have the minutes, I did send you a copy of the minutes for the architecture. You get that.
Or last,
For this last Tuesday, for 2 days ago. I did email you that.
if you want, just give her my copy.
I mean, I gave you a copy, she had a
and
copy.
you sent it to me this morning.
Okay.
So, I see only 8 cases for requests. Is that all we have?
That's all we have, yes.
So you addressed that already this meeting, right?
Yep.
All but addressed.
Yeah, 6 approves and 2 denies.
I think I saw one go in the system this morning. So
Say it
maybe
again?
if you're looking at front steps or you're looking at the agenda.
That's in the agenda.
They had a couple here.
So I think I saw an email earlier this morning that was processed, but it wouldn't be in the agenda.
They had a couple come in. People want to build gazebos.
Backyard,
They want a gazebo in their backyard.
I don't see how we can deny that if we can't see it from the front and sides.
But that's on them, you know, to
That's up to you guys,
Yeah.
though.
We'll figure that out.
Work it through.
We'll talk there.
Okay,
comply. So,
that's that for ARC? Anything else?
That's probably ARC.
Okay, compliance committee.
Next hearing is going to be on March 5th at 5:00 PM. We don't have a number of how many cases are going to be seen on that day because the status may change.
I just actually sent him a report, that we're gonna go over. I told Mark that I was gonna go over that report. That report includes, it's quite a lot of accounts that are going on in a year. I don't have the head counts, but I do have the report. So we can take a look at it. If you want, I can read it line by line to see how many we have. If you
No, that's for the
guys
next
want to do
meeting.
that.
Maybe you can work that out with them afterwards. It'll take too much time here to do that.
Yes, yes.
So in all
It
fairness,
is included though in the management report. It was included in the violation report with the full packet. But I separated it from
turn it
that.
to send it to here.
So I
I'd like to have that,
so,
just to base what we're working on.
so Mary, just so you are aware, I know you're new and it's a learning process. So compliance, every committee has an email, a group email. So compliance@villasolhoa.com, ARC committee @villasolhoa.com. So when you send that, every member of the committee gets that. And it'll be easier for you than having to add everybody individually. So I just want to make sure you were aware of that. And I know you wanted to meet with the compliance committee earlier in the week to try to hammer this out, and I know they didn't have time to do that. So, you know, that's something that maybe moving forward in future months, we could set a date for you guys to kind of touch base, whether it's on Teams or however.
Prepare before the actual.
Yeah, because I'm planning on either come by tomorrow or either Monday. But I wanted it to be for the ones that are going to be close to clients and they are in final stage to come actually be prepared like we discussed last week to take a picture of the house, make sure, hey, we're ready to go this afternoon. It's still not in compliance, and so that way there will not be any questions about, one extension because
Gotcha.
the fact that it's being.
Now, have letters gone on to homeowners already in a timely fashion for the March 5th meeting? Because, I mean, they're supposed to go out 14 days in advance.
I found out, what was it, this morning or last night, that we were having a meeting when I asked them if we could meet yesterday, so.
So we may have to move that date because
Yes.
no one has noticed it.
Even 48 hours, because, no?
That's a 14-day notice, right?
Compliance?
For compliance committee?
Yeah, minimum.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a written letter to the homeowner of the violation of the hearing date and time.
I just found out the day was.
We need to move that date.
So work it out with compliance, but, you know, you gotta go find a
Do
date.
you know if Ms. Evelyn already knew about this? Because she might have worked on the letter.
It's been going on for a while, so I know she's aware, everybody was aware.
So let me go to her first before we move the date.
Okay,
Is that okay?
that's what I'm saying, I want you guys to work it out.
And I will confirm tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
But until those letters go out, you really cannot set a date
Okay.
for the meeting, okay? Because they need that 14-day notice.
Yeah, let me just figure it out for her and see if this was done right.
Okay, financial committee. So basically, financial committee is fairly new. I think we've had one meeting with the, finances of, November and January. I don't think we had a chance to meet prior to this meeting on the January, well, we did January. So we'll be meeting, I guess, to talk about this next month. So, you know, the goal is to try to, have more set of eyes over the finances, to get more opinions from the people that are participating in the committee. We need to ask, and I was talking with Mary prior to the meeting regarding some reports of data that Tim had asked for ahead of time before, and we have not gotten them. And there is a way to do it. She's new to us, so she does it in other communities, so she's gonna look into it, and she's gonna try to get us organized. I don't know how long it'll take, hopefully it's for next month, but she can get the reports that we've been asking for, and she just doesn't know why it hasn't been arranged that way, and we'll get it figured out, hopefully by a month or two from now, so.
And it always depends on how the budget was approved. That is why it takes a big part into consideration, how the ledgers are being generated in your community. So if it's separated or if it's commingled all together, then that's how you get. In my other communities, we have separated townhomes with single family homes. So I have to, income assessment reports, one for the common element, the single family, and other for townhome. And then my management report has separated also all those line items. But in this particular part, the vehicle is there, but it's nothing because it wasn't really built for that. But I can get with Ray, but it's there last week.
Last year, we met with Ray back in June, and he said come January 1st, he would rate single families, townhomes, exactly the dollar amounts that we got, exactly how many people paid in full. He said that was gonna be January. It's February, it's March tomorrow. And he hasn't done that. We've emailed him, we've talked to him, and we get no response, no nothing.
So if you can work on that and then you have something for us for the March meeting, and we'll be able to figure out what it is. If it's the way it was built because of the budget, then it's something we need to take into consideration with the budget for next year to kind of make sure we get the budget right so that it can be, built the way it's supposed to be built.
So I'll reach out to them tomorrow and, I will suggest any questions that you might have regarding the financials, just to send me an email. I know, you get involved, over the same subject, but I just want to know, like, what can I do to help you? Maybe there's something else that I can do, like, in my end to expedite the process. I just want to make sure that you get over what they need from me.
Yeah, and before, so we got the rate contact because the issue, we had, do it,
With the previous manager.
So, now they should go through you, everything, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I send you the emails just in case, the committee emails.
I'll look into that because, I was a little surprised that you mentioned that that's how you manage, Artemis manage for other communities, those two accounts separated, because Ray said it cannot be done. That's not the way they do it. So, it was my understanding that that's not how Artemis work on other communities. Now I'm hearing that you do. So I'm looking forward to hearing about that, to see what's going on.
Okay. Anybody else? Good? All right, landscaping committee. Well, basically, we haven't met with landscaping since prior to the holidays. I think we're overdue for a meeting, so we'll try to get a meeting with Blade Runners hopefully in the next week or two. And we'll have better updates on that. I haven't heard of any. There is, I think in the town, when something was reported, Mary, I think this past week, some water, I think, has been eroding some area next to a town hall building. It exposed the sprinklers to the irrigation system.
Yeah, they're already working on it.
They're working on fixing it.
Well, the Guerra sprinkler, they're supposed to come.
But they're not gonna backfill it, are they?
They gotta check if it's the irrigation,
Okay. So, Mary, we need to have somebody kind of keep an eye on that because it is a big erosion. It's deep. The one that they sent you from, I think it's 3144 Camino Round North. 3144. 3144. They sent an email this week with the pipe exposed.
That's the one that I sent around to Gio.
To JL sprinklers, but they're only gonna check if the sprinklers is leaking. I went to look at it with Herman yesterday, and it looks like there's no gutter, so the rain has eroded the area there.
I sent an email this morning saying the issue is because there's no gutter, and it's
No,
gonna continue until they actually put something in there, like a gutter, so that way they will stop.
Yeah.
Other than that, that is gonna be on the homeowner. Is that a time townhome or?
Townhome.
I think because it's causing a problem for us, we should. It's a short,
Like a dot spot or something.
it's a short gutter. It's just the side of the garage. I think, in my opinion, I think we should try to approve something for that and just get it fixed because it is eroding a lot of the dirt there and it's gonna create more problems.
It's gonna be more expensive.
And I would be surprised if this costs more than like $400 or $500. I mean, it shouldn't cost more than that.
You can have it with a handyman.
And I think a handyman can do that.
3144, Camino Real Drive.
North, because there's two Camino Reals. There's a single family side and a townhome side.
South of the house. So that's a single family home. Yeah, so that's their problem.
No, that's not.
No, that's
That's a townhome.
It's a single family home.
No, that's
It's a
no.
townhome, trust me, man.
31s are townhouses.
Did she show us the
And
picture?
she's showing us.
So you're showing the wrong one. Oh, you're talking about
No, no,
Marbella.
no.
You're showing
This is
Marbella.
what I sent me. There's no irrigation, the pipes are exposed
Yeah,
due to the lack of gutters.
Yeah, but that's a townhome. It's 3144 Camino Real North.
This is the pictures that you sent me.
No, the pictures are of the single family home.
No, that's it. That's a
Yeah.
townhouse building. And that's the garage right there in the second picture. That's where the gutter needs to go.
Right here.
No, that picture's something else. The one on the left is something else. That's not the property. Because look at the color, it's different.
But this is 3050, 3011, and
Okay,
that's it.
yeah,
3144 Camino Real North.
That's
That's
not it.
right.
There's different pictures. on it.
got different.
Those pictures are not all the same property.
They're not, that's not the address it's on. I think.
So,
But that's the property that I saw yesterday, and that's the same picture you have there. It's the same thing I saw.
and anyway, he came through the work order, so he's there exactly only that house.
So are you guys okay with that? Do we need to make a motion to spend $500, up to $500 on that, or?
We need to fix that, so.
Yeah,
I'm
we
making a
have no
motion.
idea how much that could cost.
It's probably gonna
Up
be
to.
a lot less than that. I'm just saying up to that much, no more than 500.
Because you're talking about, I think, what is it, like almost 20 feet?
Yeah,
Give or
it's about
take.
15,
20 feet of aluminum, so, So I made a motion for 3144, Camino Real North, up to $500 to do gutters.
okay, wait a minute, we're talking about doing handyman and gutters. Yeah, that's a terrible idea. Like, you should have a gutter company come and do an estimate on that, because the handyman, so, the handyman are great.
Yeah, we do a motion up to, so if the company comes higher, then we have to do it for the next meeting. It's up to $500, so at least if the management plan a company that can do it for that amount or less, then it's already approved. We need
You
to
didn't
wait.
say handyman in your motion.
No, I didn't.
No, we're just approving up to $500 to put a
Okay, so
gutter.
as long as it's not specific to the handyman.
Yeah, I
that's-
didn't do a motion for that, only up to
I have
500.
a question. What happens if, this is 600, 700? We have to wait a month.
Correct,
So we have an additional month of erosion?
correct. Unless we go higher,
But if
but
you wanna go higher, go higher. I'm
No,
just
no,
saying,
no,
from
no,
my
no.
experience, it shouldn't cost more than
Wait,
500.
this is what I'm trying to say. If we have a, we have somebody who comes and say, this is 700. Are we going to approve that in the next meeting?
We would have to wait till next meeting to approve it.
But we will approve it or we won't? Because if we are going to approve it in the
If
next.
you want my
meeting-
opinion,
We
I would
have-
approve anything that resolves the problem.
Right, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, exactly that's what I'm saying. So if we are going to approve 700 next meeting,
Mhm.
or 1,000 next meeting, or whatever the number is, why don't we make a motion now for that amount instead of
Okay.
500? And then,
Yeah.
if we don't get.
No, I agree. I wanted to put more. I was hope around 1,000 just in there because I know companies, if we gotta do it with a gutter company, it's gonna cost no 500, so.
Now, what does it take into consideration that a gutter company might want a minimum linear footage to be put up
Yeah.
for them to come out and do it? I don't think they're gonna do just the 15 feet. So that's the other thing to look at. But we should get, several quotes.
Guys, so the way that the state laws are now, because you have to do everything by the agenda, like, we have to wait till new business to do this kind of stuff. We can add the amendment to go ahead and discuss the business, but let's go ahead and push through the committee and the whole business first.
All right, let's move on then.
But you can change it.
So safety, we are not going to talk about because Sheriff was here. He already covered safety. Social committee, basically we have a garage sale, this weekend, Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Signs are up. Basically anybody can sell what is legal to sell at garage sales. And, hopefully everybody have a good time. I think the weather's going to be great. I think the social committee is in process of trying to plan something for Easter for the kids. So if anybody has any ideas or wants to help, please reach out to Shanette Cordova and let her help you out and orient you. And Mary, if you can get Ashley to maybe help us out and give us some ideas with what we can do for Easter for the kids. Ashley Sorto?
Ashley.
Sorto, yeah, she's your
For
social,
the social committee.
yes, please.
We do have, I know that one of them is the food truck event, and they can schedule it monthly, that you pick a date, and then she send a bunch of food trucks together, and that is a free of charge, I believe, to the community. If they decided to host an event for you guys, it depends on what kind of event. Could range for $750, it's always gonna depend on what are you asking for.
Correct.
If you have anything planned for Easter, you just let her know, like, hey, what can we do for Easter?
Yeah.
Or if you have an event calendar throughout the year. So we can put together and say, hey, okay, this month I want this, or every quarter I want this type of event. And then you go from there.
So we have a calendar on the website that automatically sends notices out to the entire membership and residents. But we haven't had a hard time, someone having time to put the stuff in there. And, I don't know if that's something you can help us out with, or if somebody wants to volunteer to do it, to manage the calendar. Because I think it'd be good, even the board meetings, the ARC meetings, all these things could be put in there.
I am not familiar with the website, but I'm willing to help out. If
So-
you guys got me through it, I know that I can do it through the Safe Front Step or Calvert.
Does Front Step have a community
Front Step
calendar?
has
So we can do it through there.
It
Yeah.
has a calendar.
Because I think we could put that link in the website,
Yeah.
and then people could just go straight. I like it, it's cleaner on Front Steps.
Mhm.
So maybe we could set that up?
Yeah, and then you can also set up like a monthly recurring emails.
Yes.
You can put in one email, you can set it up, just a reminder every month, and you don't have to create it over and over and over again, so.
And also just keep on your calendar July 20 for the Villa Sol Day. That's another one, activity that we do. We did it last year. We got the KUA barbecue grill. That's something that is for free. They bring it here and, so we need to, do
So-
the same process what the HOA did with the CDD, that.
Yeah, so every year, basically, we're gonna do that event on the Saturday that's closest to July 21st. In general, this year it'll be July 20th.
Okay.
Thank
And
you.
it's always
Mary.
happens on a Saturday, right?
It's always gonna be on a Saturday, correct?
And you always want a KUA grill. to be
Yes.
serving here.
Yeah.
And any activity that we do here, then contact the CDD so they can give you whatever they had to be. I think last time we signed a liability,
But I think, in all fairness, maybe this year, you don't think we should just hold it on the Villa Sol property and maybe rent porta potties and kind of leave the CBD out of it?
No, we can do that too.
I mean, I don't know.
Whatever is until when.
It's a suggestion.
Yeah, when we get there,
I think it removes a lot of issues.
It is nicer to have it back here because it's away from traffic too, but.
Yeah.
Right.
And the
We see.
Gets-
Yeah.
That's true.
And over there is houses too.
All right, let's just ask the CBD
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
All right, and, again, the last thing I'm gonna say about social committee, we need volunteers, we need donations, we need anything, 'cause it helps, okay, to make the events better. Thank you. All right, old business, construction defect lawsuit, I don't think we have any updates on that. We had the town hall earlier this month. Basically, the engineer, the forensic engineer and the law firm were here, they gave a presentation, and basically, we're expecting it's gonna take 2 to 3 years, but still fairly soon, so we'll get updates regularly as things change. Anybody got anything else to say on that? No? All right. So townhome repairs, I think that, we had a handyman named Ping, I think, that was working on stuff. Is he still working on stuff? Because I don't know, that's who, Z and Dewar were using at the time. And, you know, we had like a list of things for him to do. What is the status of that? You know,
I think King brought it, that guy.
Oh, it was Kim who brought it? Yeah. But anyway, I met with another maintenance handyman. They do pretty much everything. Today, I'm gonna get a proposal from them. It's called PGS Centrum, if anybody wants to look them up. The guy seems very professional. They got a lot of good communities. I personally, I haven't seen any numbers, but I think it's gonna be expensive, but, I told him that we'll look at the proposal and we'll see if anybody here knows anybody that does that kind of work and wants to submit a proposal, then, you know, whatever it is, but I'd like to address that by next meeting because there is a lot of issues in the townhomes that need to be addressed. Okay, and I believe when he sends me the proposal, I'm gonna try to bring him here in March to talk to the board and see if he's a good fit for the community. Okay?
Is that a work orders already in place for those items that you need to get done? That townhome,
So-
have a list, a separate list for that?
So in our website, we have work orders for everything, and the townhomes have their own work order that should go directly to you. It should. I don't know. Did we ever update that email to her
Which one?
for the work orders?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's updated.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so it should go directly to you and you should be able to manage that. I get copies, but I think a couple of us get copies of those work orders, but we don't act on them. We leave it all up to management or the vendors that get, like landscaping gets their work orders directly routed to them. The irrigation guy gets the work orders routed to them directly. So that kind of helps, but there's always a list of all the work orders and when they were placed in the website. So we'll work on that for next month then. You know, one thing I wanted to bring up while we're here on the townhome repairs, can we look into how much it would cost to do exterior pest control for the townhouses? Because we've been getting a lot of like critters going in people's attics and stuff, and it costs the association a big chunk of change to get those animals removed. And I think if we did exterior pest control, the animals probably won't come around. At least that's what I think, but anybody have an opinion on that?
Isn't there already a pest control company?
They do termites, that's it, termite bonds. Yeah, so, food for thought,
I mean, maybe it's, if we're getting critters in attics, maybe it's an opportunity to have, Eileen, who's been doing a lot of our roof work, Eileen, do a lot of our work roof, soffit work, stuff like that. Maybe it's, an opportunity to use them and say, hey, we're having a lot of critters. Can you go around and look for openings, that kind of stuff, and we need them buttoned up, and give them a proposal since they're already on site, doing a lot of work anyway.
But also on the townhouses, I've been riding around and they have a lot of ants and things that I think the HOA should, you know, consider something because, yeah, you know.
yeah, snakes, alligators, raccoons, possums, they all come to properties because there's food there, whether it's grub, whether it's people leaving their garbage out, cat food, whatever it is, they come there for that.
So I just find out that somebody in the townhomes are putting the cats in their porch.
Oh, yeah. For years.
But I think if we get pest control, I think maybe that will help cut it down, but I don't know. But can we
Feed
get,
them, there is nothing you can do.
can we get though like 2 or 3 quotes to see what exterior pest control, only exterior, would cost just for the town? Okay, just so we get an idea how much that will cost. Because I mean, if it's less than removing 2 or 3 critters a year, it might be worth paying for it.
Do you want a trap included in there?
No, just pest control.
Just the regular spray, just the regular pest control.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. let the experts tell us what we need. I don't know anything about pest control, but we want whatever the proper exterior pest control for those buildings is.
Yep.
We already have termite bombs on them with, Massey, so I don't know if we can reach out to them, they might give us a better deal because they're already doing it. But I'd like to see other quotes from other companies just to see if we're getting a good deal. Okay? All right, reserve study update. Did we ever finalize the reserve study?
Last thing I knew with the reserve study, the board decided not to enact on collecting any funds for 2024.
So they're gonna,
We had to have the reserve study institute redo the math portion, and start collecting the money in 2025. So I think that's what we were waiting on. I don't know if it ever got transferred over. We took everything over, but we're waiting on the institute to finish that paperwork for us.
so they did the reserve study, but it was supposed to start 2024, but we already went past the budget, everything's already done. So like Corey said, we're just supposed to recalculate what the numbers will be starting January 2025, so then we can put it in the budget for this coming year, for the end of the year. Okay, thank you. All right, we get into the fun part now, appointment of directors. Any volunteers? Or nominations or comments?
Well, I'll make a comment before we even start, because I believe that with any organization, like having a shovel every now and again is good. It's not necessarily a great thing to have one person doing the same thing the whole time, all the way through. You've done obviously an amazing job as the president. Herman, Jesus, you put in more time than I think anyone should. But I think at this point, like, if there's anyone that wants to take over any position, it might not be a bad idea to have someone take over and shuffle things about a little bit. So in this particular case, I'd like to nominate Corey for the president.
Okay. Any other nominations for president?
I nominate Mario Cordova.
Anybody else? No? What about vice president? Any nominations for vice president?
Vice president, I would nominate Marcelo, since it's a backup position. You know, I think the treasury thing on him is sometimes it's a bit lost, because it's just not his area of expertise.
Okay. I will nominate Herman for vice president. Anybody else? Nomination for vice president? No? Secretary? Anybody for secretary? I nominate Corey because he's doing an outstanding job. Thank you. Anybody else? Nobody else wants to be secretary? Corey, you might be secretary by default.
By default?
Treasurer?
I nominate Scott Monahan.
Scott Monahan.
I think that position requires a very analytical eye. And in my opinion, the most analytical person in this board is Jose. So I would like to nominate Jose for that position.
I cannot say. We do have reasons.
Okay, so Jose takes himself out. But thank you, Marcelo.
Thank you, thank you.
Anybody else? No? All right, Corey, you've been nominated for 2 chairs. You still want to run for president?
Yeah.
Okay, so then what will we do if Corey wins the presidency?
Just go one at a time,
All right,
and then call for a vote on it. If the vote passes, then you can amend the motion on the second.
all right. Is Scott available?
No, he's there.
So, I'm here. So let's get a vote for Corey for president. We got 1. Anybody else? Okay. Mario for president? Anybody vote Mario for president?
Aye.
3, okay. Anybody else? I'll abstain since it's my vote. So 3-1, Mario remains president. Vice president, we have Marcelo Anybody vote Marcelo for vice president? We got 3. All right. Anybody vote for Herman for vice president?
Aye.
Aye. You're not voting? You're not voting?
Yeah.
All right. So what do we do now? We got a tie.
I didn't vote for myself.
Oh, you didn't vote either for yourself?
I thought I should vote for myself.
Herman, you need to recuse yourself.
So Herman recuses himself. And then, so we got a 3-2. Is that right? All right. So Marcelo's the new vice president. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Now, Corey is the only member nominated for secretary. Do you accept to stay as secretary, Corey?
I accept.
Thank you. So Corey stays. Now for treasurer, Scott Manahan's the only person nominated. So Scott, do you accept the treasurer position?
Yes, I do.
All right. So that's it. Everybody else is directed. All right.
Coming from China. There's a delay.
Is even he changing things that?
It's a machine.
All right. So now we're going to move on to the new business. So consideration of legal counsel engagement. So first I want to talk and say that I personally am very appreciative for Chris's work. I think that he fought really hard for this community, and if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here today. And he was able to get us through a very contentious litigation for the recall, and for that, we will always be indebted to Chris, and I totally appreciate everything he's done up till now. However, I also believe that we've dealt with a lot of big issues this year. There's been a lot of bumps down the road. And in my personal opinion, the direction that I feel that the community needs to go and the board needs to go in directing the community, I just think that we'll be better off served with a attorney firm that has more experience and is more set up to handle the business of this association. So I took it upon myself to go and find three engagement letters, 3 proposals from 3 other attorney firms for the board to consider. I have forwarded to the board since February 7th. They all have had an opportunity to review it, to ask questions, and they all could have called these lawyers and asked to meet with them or discuss with them or anything like that, as we have done. You know, with all due respect, Chris, there has been some issues where we felt that the representation just wasn't there, and I felt we were not protected. I'm not going to sit here and talk about specifics because I think that's beyond the point, but I'd like for this board today to consider one of these 3 proposals that I think we will not go wrong with, and I think will help get Villa Sol to the next step. Okay, we're moving on to the next issue. Reconsideration of single-family home irrigation inspections. So basically, as you guys all know, we've hired JL Sprinklers to do the irrigation inspections, and they've been doing a great job. Unfortunately, we're running into a lot of issues with the single-family homes. A lot of owners don't want JL Sprinklers touching their boxes. They don't want them adjusting anything. They're opting out, and it's getting a little, difficult to manage that aspect because, you know, they have to keep a running list. And, you know, in my opinion, I think that the homeowners are sending a message that maybe they don't want these inspections. And maybe, you know, I don't see anyone really maybe just a few making repairs based on those inspections, either with JL Sprinklers or with anybody. So in my opinion, I don't think that it's being productive, and it's costing us almost $4,000 every 3 months to do the single family homes. So I would like to see for us to consider eliminating that service for the upcoming year. Our contract is due for renewal. I believe it's November, is it? But anyway, before the end of the year, and in planning for the budgeting, I think it's important for us to discuss this and see what everybody's opinion is on the board and see where we're going to go with this.
Yeah, I think moving forward, I don't see it either. I go around and I see them inspecting, but the homeowners doing repairs or utilizing the service is not. And you know, we paying every 3 months, like almost 3,000 something. So that's a lot of money that it can be used for something else if homeowners are not using it. Now, the townhouses, they're taken care of because they, you know, we need to take care of all your irrigations and, you know, everything. But on the single families, you know, I think we can maybe send a survey, or if the board just decide, you know, to cancel it. But in my opinion, what I see, people doesn't utilize that service.
I would say cancel it because I was looking through their report. No power, no water.
Yeah, correct. So people that, yeah.
Nobody's getting a repair. I would cease it right today. Tell them no more homeowners, and you're gonna be saving yourself money.
Yeah.
Because you're just throwing money out the window.
No, I agree with it.
Because
Board,
they're
but that's
going
something.
they're going like every other house down my street. They run all that thing.
Because a lot of people opt out.
Yeah.
The ones
Well,
that
then,
did,
let's just cease it
I
right
got
now.
emails, calls, and everything, no, I don't want anybody, I don't, and I even asked her, is this an optional? And then he goes, yeah, it was an optional. So, I think it should be the best to get rid of it, and put the money somewhere else that it needs to be.
What's our contract say? Do we have an out? I would assume it's 30
30-day
days.
notice, 30-day notice.
Chris has always been pretty good about that.
Yes.
All of the contracts that we negotiate have 30 to 60 hours.
I'm gonna
I think
make,
they just did the inspection this month,
They did it today.
Yeah, so
Today.
yesterday and
Yesterday
today.
and today, yeah.
so we can cancel it effective next round if the board agrees.
I'll make a motion to, in the contract with jail sprinklers for the single-family home, single-family home inspections.
I second the motion.
So Corey made a motion, seconded by Herman. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
I'd like to suggest to send an e-blast for the next round to our people who actually participated on this inspection, they don't expect it to happen again.
Correct. So we can do
So
that.
keep the communication of the community.
Everybody voted yea? No
No.
names? Nay?
Aye.
Aye.
Everybody.
Jose abstains. Everybody else, no nays, right?
I don't think Jason voted yet.
No, I understand.
You abstain too? Jason abstains
So
too.
two.
So two abstentions and motion carries.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.
Okay. Can you please, send that e-blast out?
Yes.
Thank you.
Prepare the cancellation notice?
Huh?
Do you want me to prepare the cancellation notice, Gerald?
Yes, please. Yes.
Just for the single families, yeah.
Just a single family, the townhomes continues the same unchanged. I believe we need to make a motion to terminate, Chris's, agreement. Somebody wants to make that motion?
I make the motion to terminate legal counsel, Chris, right.
Herman, anybody second? I'll second the motion. All in favor say aye.
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 All the nays say nay.
Okay.
Nay.
Okay. I guess there's, your nay too? So that's 3 and 3. And there's one more that hasn't voted, right?
Yeah, Jose?
Speaking kidding me.
No, because I knew they were gonna do it.
So now we have to put this on hold.
Huh?
Right?
Well, so then now we pay 2 lawyers and that's it. You know?
Motion doesn't carry.
Well, it's, yeah.
Gentlemen, and that is when we have to measure professionalism in front of the people who put us here.
Correct.
Okay? The moment that we lose it, then you lose me too. Okay, so I'm sorry, I cannot be a participant of this kind of behavior. You see, the room emptied out and half of it left when you all here lose it. I'm not part of that. I'm part of a professional group.
Correct.
okay? And
We all
whenever
are.
whenever you're ready to look at this in a professional manner, with a professional demeanor, call me again. I'll sit down and I'll help you in your decision, whether it's one way or another.
Very good.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank
But
you.
we're not finished yet. We have a homeowner here. As you know, we're gonna open up for the forum, but I want to take care of this homeowner that's been waiting. So, as you guys know, Building 15's roof was approved to be replaced. It will be replaced on March 6th. And, gentleman put some solar panels that I don't know if we have checked if they were approved by the ARC or not, but he has solar panels. It's costing him, I think, I'm gonna let him explain. It's costing him a lot of money to have them removed and reinstalled, and he cannot afford it, is what he's telling me. So I'm gonna give him the floor to explain the situation. I couldn't give him any advice on this. I told him I don't know, bring the issue to the board and let the board decide how to handle this issue. But the job is scheduled to start March 6th, and the panels have not been removed as of yet. So, Mr. Obando, si usted quiere hablar de su situación, I'll try to translate as we go along. Sí, señor.
Bueno, lo que pasa es que hace la reparación del techo de la unidad. Yo tengo unos paneles solares instalados y hay que removerlos y volverlos a instalar. Las compañías a las que yo le he cotizado son muy costosas. La mínima son $8,000. Yo no tengo la plata, no tengo cómo hacer eso. Entonces,
Pausa un momentico para yo traducirle. Pausa un momentico para yo traducirle. So basically, he's saying that he's been trying to get quotes to remove the solar panel to the roof because of the roof replace that is gonna happen soon. And the cheapest one that he can get is to do this kind of work to install it back, remove them and reinstall them, it will be $8,000. At this moment, he doesn't have that kind of money, and he's been put in a situation that he doesn't really know what to do. Esos paneles solares, señor, tienen algún, el seguro de usted le cubre, la compañía que se los instaló tiene alguna garantía. So I'm asking him if his insurance company will cover anything. If the people who install the solar panels have given him any guarantee or any sort of backup plan in the event that needs to be removed. Because some companies, they do that when they install the solar panels, especially with the amount of money that you spend when you have a roof tile to put it like the solar panels to put it on the roof tile.
La garantía que ellos cubren es que si hay un líquido, la gotera en el área donde están los paneles, ellos la reparan. De resto no. Y si hay que removerlo, lo que sea, ellos no cubren nada de eso.
You say that the only thing that is covered is in case of a leak, whatever they install the solar panels, they will repair it. But to remove them and reinstall them, they will not cover that.
Porque eso es lo que, cuando yo hice el contrato con ellos, eso hace ya 5 años, cuando empezaron los paneles, ellos me dijeron que sí, que el vendedor, que sí, que ellos lo cubrían, y que alguna cosa, pero ahora ellos vendieron, como siempre, las compañías venden las deudas, y ahora la corporación dice que no, ellos no tienen nada que ver con eso, y que ellos no cubren nada, solamente si hay líquido.
He said that when he initially got the contract with the solar panel company, they told them that it was going to be covered in the event of whatever is happening now. But now the solar panel company was sold to another company, and this corporation is telling him, no, we're not gonna be able to cover you for that, we're only gonna be able to cover you if he was any repairs.
Does he happen to have the original contract?
¿Tienes el contrato original de ellos?
Yo, no, yo tengo ahora, porque cuando ellos vendieron el peso, suben así, cuando se está comenzando, y ese es el problema que tenemos todos los que compramos en esa época. Hoy ya apenas que están vendiendo con ya otras soluciones, pero no
¿Cuándo fue que dijo que se lo había comprado?
¿Cómo?
¿Cuándo fue que dijo que se lo había comprado?
Hace ya 5 años.
He said like 5 years ago, when people started doing the solar panels, he doesn't have the contract, and a lot of people, they got the solar panels back then, and nowadays they're stuck in the same situation, because pretty much they lied to them.
So there's a chance that this may be a recoverable cost, because the reason the panels are having to come off the roof is because it had to be replaced, because it was defectively installed in the first place. If that's the case, then what I could shoot Chris, Tibby, an email and see if that's something that would be a recoverable cost through the construction defect case, because if it is, there may be an opportunity there. So,
He doesn't have no leak.
it doesn't matter. The point though is if the roof is having to be replaced because it was defectively installed, and that includes having to remove the solar panels, you could argue that should be an included damage cost as part of that replacement cost, right?
Is right.
So there's a chance that if we turn that receipt in to Chris, that could be included in our damage estimate, which would make it recoverable on our part.
Yeah.
Which may give us some options of trying to help him out. So let me run it up the flagpole at least and see what he says. I mean, if he comes back and says no, it is no, but at least we give it a shot.
Do we know if his panels were ever approved by the ARC?
¿Usted sabe si tienes algo en récords que los paneles que usted instaló se lo aprobó la asociación de antes? Los paneles que usted instaló se lo aprobó el board que estaba anteriormente. ¿Tienes la aplicación? ¿Tienes toda la aprobación?
Ellos, para ellos poderlos instalar, fue con la aprobación del board.
Sí, pero usted tiene algo en récord que nos pueda mostrar que sí se lo aprobaron. Ya son 5 años.
Hace 5 años. Yo trataré de mirar a ver si tengo eso, pero para ellos poder instalar, el board lo aprobó.
Wouldn't we have that on record?
¿Ah?
Wouldn't we have a record of it? In the old records?
Maybe not.
But you know, it's 5 years.
And there's a Florida statute which makes it so that people can put solar panels up anyway, so there's a chance that the ARC would never even put it.
I learned that from Mark.
I mean, you still have to put an ARC though.
Well,
So-
You do, but, I mean,
And also, we need to create something.
So this is the dilemma I have with solar.
It was automatically approved because it was solar panels. There is legislation. There is no saying no to it other than.
Location.
Where they look up, but other than that.
Kirby, I think the association has a say in the location of the panels. Because this is the dilemma we have right now, and the way that our townhouses are built, there's 4 to 6 units in each building, and anybody putting solar panels on their roof is gonna subject the other units to leaks. So, you know, that building is leaking actively in other areas, and not over his panels, but who knows? Could that have caused it? I don't know. But the reason why I'm asking is because when someone is given ARC approval for solar panels, we should have some sort of document with language that holds the homeowner accountable for removing them in this instance and doing the things that need to be done. Because I empathize with him that he doesn't have the money to do it. But by the same token, you have 4 or 5 other homeowners there next to him that are going to get their roof replaced, and it would be best for them to be able to do the whole roof. Now, the question is, Chris, for you is, should the HOA pan out whatever money is required to remove them? Like, can these panels be installed other place other than the roof? Because I'm thinking if we spend 90 grand on this roof, and they put those panels back on and it leaks again because of the panels, what do we do?
Yeah, well, but in that case, we actually would have contract coverage, because then the panels would be causing a leak in a brand new roof, right? So that should be a covered cost, and if his insurance isn't covered, that's something that our policy would cover.
We don't have it. Yeah, but that's the thing, we need to get a liability that anyone that install solar panels are liable for the whole roof.
Yeah, I mean, they would already be liable for that, because he had the work done.
No, because on their contract, it's only for their piece.
No, I'm saying the homeowner would be responsible, because he had the work done.
And how is that gonna work if he doesn't have the contract already, and then now you're gonna bring the solar, run you through this solar panel, the company doesn't exist anymore?
Whoever the successor in interest to that company is, would inherit the same contractual obligations as the previous company.
Yeah, but he's been told, oh no, this is not
I
what
mean,
it
I
is.
understand what he's told, but that doesn't mean it's right. So, I mean, if he wants to enforce the warranty on his contract.
Usted le puede preguntar a la compañía que ahora cogió los paneles solares, la nueva compañía, le puede preguntar copia de su contrato porque ellos deben de tenerlo.
Sí, de hecho. No, yo voy a buscar también, porque yo creo que no tengo algo de eso.
He said he's gonna try to find the contract. And then he also can reach out to the new company to see if they have a copy of the contract, because they should have a copy of the contract. Probably if they still don't know now, they have their account, they should have something. And then he was asking.
He said it was 5 years ago?
5
So that's
years
under
ago.
6, so they either by law, they have to have the contract.
Sí, porque si es como 5 años, por ley tiene que, es menos de 6, por ley tiene que tener algo, ellos proveerles algo a ustedes.
Una copia.
Una copia del contrato.
Mm.
Porque me imagino que usted todavía sigue pagando, ¿verdad?
Sí, por 15 años.
Pues tiene que.
Yeah. Tiene que haber una copia.
Right, I just emailed Chris.
So the issue is that the job is scheduled for 5 days from now, 6 days from now. Do we hold that? And the tile's already gonna be delivered. So that was because one of the other unit owners is also requesting that they don't do the roof on that day because she's sick. And the roofing company is telling me that the tile's already en route and they can't return it. So we would have to put it, so we have to get CDD permission to store it somewhere, to lay it down somewhere until these issues get resolved. Now, I spoke to the roofing company that's doing the roof, and I kind of had it with them, and I got them down to $5,775 to remove the solar panels and put them back on. That's almost $3,000 less than he had been quoted originally. Now, the question is, if for the sake of getting this roof done, we were to cover that, could we, if we can't recover it from the defect lawsuit, can the homeowner pay for it at a later date or
Payment plan.
like a payment plan for that?
What we would do is, we would add it to his ledger as a cost recovery, and then we could do a payment plan, let them catch it up, if that's what you decided to do.
So, básicamente lo que están discutiendo es que si, por ejemplo, la constructora no le va a cubrir la renovación y instalación de los paneles, ellos pueden hacerte un pago, un plan de pago para que usted lo vaya pagando por el dinero que la asociación le va a cubrir a usted por removerlos e instalarlos otra vez. Y se lo van a poner al ledger como un costo que se tiene que recobrar para atrás para ellos.
En otras palabras, yo hablé con la compañía de techos, ellos bajaron el precio para quitar y reponer sus paneles a $5,775. Lo que se está diciendo es que ya el trabajo está posteado para el 6 del mes que viene, que son como en 6-7 días. Entonces lo que estamos delegando, el abogado envió notificación al abogado que está cubriendo la demanda de defectos a ver si ese dinero se va a poder recuperar por medio de la demanda, ¿verdad? Pero el dinero hay que pagarlo ya porque hay que hacer el trabajo. So, si la asociación lo paga y no se puede recuperar por medio de la demanda, entonces usted sería responsable por ese dinero y se le haría un plan de pago para que tenga tiempo para pagarlo. No sé cómo lo ve usted, pero eso era lo que estamos explicando.
Porque a esas alturas no va a tener ninguna otra opción, al menos que lo quiera financiarlo entre la asociación y lo tenga que pagar todo de una vez. O que lo quite y no lo vuelva a instalar y le sale más barato. Que lo quite el panel y no lo vuelva a instalar y de pronto le sale el costo más barato.
Pero es que si no se vuelve a instalar, de todas maneras la deuda sigue.
Pues es las opciones que estamos tratando de darle.
Y siempre hay que pagar algo para quitar los otros panes.
Claro.
Chris?
He was saying, what I was telling him is like, basically, that the board's trying to find an alternative to his claims. And like he said, it's he asked the construction attorney to see if there's any way to forward. He asked for the payment plan. And I told him at this point, you don't have any other options unless you come up with the money up front. Or if you don't want to pay that much money, maybe revise the quote that they use to reinstall them and just to remove them completely. If that payment plan is not visible for him, or he doesn't want to come out with that. So that's the other option. But he said, well, the debt will continue because he's still paying for the solar panel for 15 years. So we still have 10 years that he's going to be making those payments.
In my opinion, as far as the board's concerned, and our duty to the rest of the homeowners is to get that roof replaced. I would agree that we can help in the removal, but it isn't our responsibility to put them back on the roof, right?
Yeah, because
And
anything that happened to the project.
I knew that would be an issue that would come out, so I have them quoting me how much the removal would be. They said they've never done that before, so they were gonna go through the chain of command at Janney Roofing and see what the price would be just for the removal. I think in all fairness, I mean, he's entitled to have solar panels. I just don't think they need to be on the roof. I think he has a certain amount of space in the back as a backyard, and I think that there is a way that those panels can be installed like that. I just don't know if he'll get the same benefit with regards to the energy conservation. So those are things that I think can be looked at before they get reinstalled.
Something else to consider too is if a roofer doesn't work with solar panels on a regular basis, takes them down and damages them, that might void his warranty.
And that was something that the roofer brought up, and I asked him to look into that, but he said he doesn't have a warranty.
He's got a manufacturer's warranty. It may not be from that company, but I guarantee the manufacturer's warranty for at least 10 years. So just, I'm not telling him what to do, but that's a consideration that you need to think about.
¿Has tratado de llamar a la compañía, a la manufacturería de la compañía esa que hizo los paneles solares? No a los que te dio el contrato, a los que te vendió, sino a los que diseñaron el panel. Ellos deben de tener alguna garantía en esos paneles.
Yo he tratado de llamarlos y no me contestan. Y lo que ellos, lo que me dicen, ¿verdad? La compañía para la que tiene la financia, es que ellos no tienen nada que ver con eso, que ellos, o sea, ellos le hacen el trabajo, inclusive ellos me cobran más, $10,000. Por fuera de derivado de 8,000 y hasta 7,500, he conseguido yo. Pero, porque para tener que se hace, para comentarle a ustedes, porque es que yo no puedo deshacer esta planta, yo no puedo.
He said that he's been trying also to contact the manufacturing company with no success. He went through the financial company and they gave him a quote given for like $10,000. They brought it out to almost $7,500. But he's here to convince the board he doesn't have the money he can afford to remove and install it. He can afford that cost.
Y cuando yo compré, pues obviamente uno no sabe todas las consecuencias que tiene esto. Pero ellos se entendieron con el BOA.
He said that when he bought when they installed the solar panels, he didn't know about any consequences, he didn't know any better. In other words, the outcome of the possibility of changing the roof. And they handle everything through the previous board. So,
Porque se suponía que igual era que tenía que prestarle dar el consentimiento si sí o si no, pues estarían seguros de las cosas, porque no me dijo, mira, y esto, y esto, y esto.
he said that the board is supposed to have the knowledge and ¿qué dice? Consequences.
Sí, pues, ¿qué consecuencias tendría? Pero como eso ahora.
And the previous board should know the consequences of what would have happened in the case of the situation arises.
I feel like unfortunately at this point, we only have two remedies, only two legal remedies, because we can't just take money out of our coffers and give it to them.
Yeah.
And take money out of all of their pockets, right? So the only thing that we can do is a payment plan. Or it goes through all in, and it's a recoupable fee.
Yeah.
And that's it, that's the only, there's no.
Well, they said that they're loaning money out.
Exactly, and that's, if it's on a payment plan, it's a different situation, if we're gonna recoup the money, or if Paul Janik is gonna, pay, if we're gonna get paid back for it. But even if Paul Janik is gonna do it, just in case something happens and the lawsuit fails, I'm not saying
You
it's
guys
going
will
to,
end up with that.
but if it happens,
Yeah.
then there's a contingency in place for a payment plan to take over at the point Paul Janik does. You know?
So básicamente en este momento solo hay dos remedios, dos opciones para usted. Esperar la respuesta de la constructora que está manejando el caso y a ver si se le puede cubrir eso por el hecho que está dañado, o ponerte el pago en un plan de pago. Sí. Más nada, porque ellos no te pueden dar dinero que no tienen. Acuérdate que el dinero de la asociación es el dinero de todos. Y ese dinero es lo que se usa para la operación de la comunidad. Eso no es justo si se entiende que usted lo que está pasando, que no tienes ese dinero, pero no es justo que él o ninguno aquí, ninguno en la otra comunidad de lo que le pague la deuda. Porque de esa es la manera que se ve, porque es el dinero de todos, no solo de una persona. Vamos a esperar a ver qué dice la constructora, pero de todas maneras, si por ejemplo el caso se cae, que diga, oye, el constructor dice que no le van a pagar a la asociación por los techos o por cualquier cosa, todavía vas a seguir responsable por ese dinero. So, aunque te den esa opción, todavía al final, hasta que se cierre el caso, debes de tener un plan de pago. Entonces, ya cuando ellos recuperen ese dinero, ¿verdad? Si ese dinero no se llega a recuperar, usted tiene que pagarlo para atrás, ese dinero que se gastó. ¿Sí entiende?
¿Se están de acuerdo con el plan de pago? Esa es la opción, with the payment plan as first. You need to be aware of it.
It has to be in a payment
In the
plan,
plan,
because
yeah.
like he said, if
Yeah.
it fails,
Correct.
then pay the money back.
So, para eso es, si estás de acuerdo con el payment plan.
So, I have something to say though, in his defense though, if these panels were approved and they didn't give him knowledge of that, knowledge is key, right? I totally agree it's his responsibility. I mean, I'm not trying to justify it. But by the same token, like Corey said, we need to change this roof, And I'm okay with what Corey said, that, that if we pay for them to be removed, but not to be reinstalled, and if he is to reinstall them, he should get ARC approval prior to reinstalling them so that they can be properly placed, and hopefully we wouldn't be in this situation. He can get the appropriate letter with knowledge that he's responsible for anything related to that moving forward.
Because it might be a possibility that the construction defect are turning and say, we can remove it because we need to get to the roof. But they're not gonna pay you back to put it back.
Correct.
That's like a big chance that they will say that. Porque puede haber la posibilidad que la constructora le pueda decir, Sí, ya, que la constructora le diga, ok, lo vamos a remover porque necesitamos cambiar el techo, pero no lo vamos a poner para atrás, porque no le va a cubrir el seguro el caso que llevan ahora. ¿Me entiendes?
Sí. Entonces, la idea es que la mitad es de ese costo.
No sé, estoy esperando que la compañía de techos me dé la cotización de la removida. Entonces,
De reinstalar,
¿ah?
de reinstalar.
No.
Bueno, yo tengo la cotización total de quitarlos y ponerlos. So I have the quote to take them off and put them on.
That's $5,000.
But I'm trying to get a quote just to remove them. So that this way the HOA can cover that if we agreed. I'm just giving a suggestion. And then if he chooses to reinstall them, that'll be on him. You know, but I think he should get ARC approval, and the ARC should have a say in the location of the panels if possible, so that we're not in this situation again.
Entonces, lo que ellos va a buscar un poco para que le quiten los paneles nada más, a ver si la asociación puede cubrir eso mediante ser peleador el caso de los techos, ¿verdad? Con la constructora. Pero si usted quiere instalarlo para atrás, vas a tener que poner una aplicación de ERC nueva para que miren en qué locación vas a volver a reinstalar los paneles. Porque no se sabe si se va a tener que poder poner en la misma locación. So, tienes que ir con el mismo proceso otra vez para poderlos reinstalar. Otra aplicación, ya se sabe que ya se había aprobado, pero ahora tienes un techo nuevo, tienen que hacer, me imagino, un survey, lo que te van a venir a chequear el techo, donde va a ser que lo van a reinstalar. Y tiene que chequear también la garantía del techo, a ver
Correcto.
si eso no se le... No se
Correcto.
Si usted quiere, yo trabajo con usted en estos días, pero tiene que darme este fin de semana, tenemos que resolver esto porque ellos lo van a empezar a instalar el mes que viene. Llamamos a su compañía, yo le ayudo a hacer las gestiones, pero vamos a averiguar qué es lo que ellos están dispuestos a hacer. La Junta aquí, yo creo que nosotros estamos de acuerdo de pagar para removerlo, pero no para volverlos a reinstalar. ¿Me entiende? Y lo que tiene que entender también es que esos paneles los tiene que guardar en algún lado. Y yo no creo que la compañía de techos tiene un lugar para guardarlos. Esa es otra cosa que tenemos que trabajar, a ver a dónde.
¿Caben en un garaje, en el garaje de él? ¿Tiene garaje?
¿Cuántos paneles tiene usted?
Son 22 paneles.
22 panels.
Pero dile lo que dice en español ahí.
Aquí. Yeah. So basically what I'm saying is there's a couple of issues here. One is the removal, the other is the install. So I support what Corey has suggested of us paying for the removal because we do need to get that roof done. However, I don't agree with us paying for them to be reinstalled. I think it should go through the ARC process. But then we have the other issue is that those panels need to be stored somewhere. You can't just leave them on the floor. You know, so I'm going to work with him starting tomorrow. Hopefully we can get this hammered out over the weekend. I'll call his solar company with him and kind of try to figure out what options they give him. Maybe they'll charge a little less to store them while he goes through the motions of figuring out when or how he's going to reinstall them. But at least I think we should make a motion to cover what, the amount it takes to have them removed so that we could do that in a timely fashion. If what we pay to remove it is going to be reimbursable through the Boyle and Janik lawsuit, then it's a done deal. He doesn't have to do anything. But if we're not going to be able to recover it, then we could put it at a later date for him to pay for it once we figure that out.
So the way you would do that is you just put it on his ledger as a recoverable cost. And if Chris comes back and says, hey, that's something that's legitimately part of our lawsuit, we'll front that cost. They would send us a check, we take it off his ledger, and it's done. Right? But otherwise, it's a cost that would need to be attached to the ledger.
When you say recoverable costs, you're talking about after the lawsuit materializes,
No,
right?
because they have run all the costs, all the repairs.
Or you're saying they will do it on the contingency basis?
Yeah. Remember all of those necessary repairs and stuff that we have to do? All Janet's fronting all that.
We've been paying those.
No, we've been paying it.
We've been paying all the repairs.
Oh,
All they're paying, all they're fronting is the inspections, all the paperwork, all the
That's it.
legal stuff. But we're doing all the repairs.
When the engineer dude came in and did all this stuff.
That's what I'm saying, those are the inspections. They
Inspection.
covered that.
That was all they were fixing on, oh, okay.
Right, so other leaks that have been identified, we're paying to.
And we're just setting the receipts for all that, is that what we're doing?
We're doing.
No, we're keeping the receipts.
No.
And
Yeah.
we're not sending them anything. They're just aware that the repairs are being made and whatever they ask us for is being sent to them.
And we're using E&E, that is the company that worked with them, so they report all the photos and all that to
So
them.
because they're keeping all that stuff, right? Because Chris is pretty,
That's why we're using that company, because we work with them.
We're using their vendors.
right, yes, so then if it's coming out of our pocket, then yeah, it would need to be on his ledger. And then we can do a payment plan, or we can put that piece on pause for a while until Trivia comes back and says yay or nay. You know, and we can decide what to do with it then. That would allow the roof to get repaired.
Entonces, ¿usted está de acuerdo? Lo que él está diciendo es que vamos a pagar la removida y usted va a tener que trabajar conmigo, averiguar dónde vamos a poner estos paneles, mientras tanto, en lo que se averigua cómo lo va a instalar y cuándo lo va a instalar. Pero la cantidad de dinero que se va a pagar por removerlo se le va a poner en su cuenta, no tiene que pagarle inmediatamente. Esperen, déjenme terminar. Se la va a poner en su cuenta, no tiene que pagarle inmediatamente. Vamos a esperar a ver qué el abogado dice de la demanda de construcción y ver si esos gastos se pueden recuperar. Si no se pueden recuperar, entonces usted va a tener que trabajar con el abogado a sacar un plan de pago que usted pueda pagar. Y se le va a dar tiempo para que lo pague.
As long as he understands that if they come back and they say we're not paying this, that's gonna be something he's gonna have to.
Yeah, already.
¿Entiende? Si el abogado dice que ellos no lo van a pagar, usted va a ser responsable, pero se le va a dar plan de pago.
Posiblemente, depende. La movida. Porque para.
Bueno,
Permiso, excuse me.
La reducción estaría dentro de
no le oigo.
Excuse me, he's talking. Yeah.
La reducción estaría dentro de la renovación, ¿cierto?
No. Usted tiene que entender de que la asociación no puso los paneles. ¿Me entiende? Entonces, no, la removida es su responsabilidad. Nosotros, como la Junta, vamos a aprobar pagar ahora adelante, porque el techo hay que reemplazarlo, y vamos a buscar la guía del abogado de defectos de construcción a ver si ese dinero se puede recuperar por medio de la demanda. Si no se puede recuperar, usted va a tener que pagar eso. ¿Usted me entiende? Pero se le va a dar tiempo para pagar.
De la remoción y la reservación,
Usted la va a tener que pagar.
Eso va a estar con usted. Eso es lo que yo le expliqué antes, que ellos están tratando de ayudarle porque ustedes no tienen dinero para hacerlo. Pero ellos no lo van a echar para atrás. Entonces, ese dinero se va a pagar al frente mientras pasa el caso de la constructora. Pero si ellos no ganan el caso, ellos no recuperan ese dinero, al final del día vas a tener que pagarlo atrás. Y la otra cosa que estábamos discutiendo es que el lawsuit se puede demorar 1 año, 2 años, lo que sea, ¿no? Pero si él en ese periodo, él viene y vende la casa, tiene que tener en el payment plan una contingencia que diga, él tiene que pagar este dinero que se debe, porque antes de que se cierre.
Correcto.
Después no van a poder recuperar ese dinero.
So I feel like in this case, there's gonna have to be an agreement.
It has to have an agreement, they have to have an agreement with the payment plan.
¿Entiende?
Para hacer esto tienen que aceptar un payment plan, es la opción. Hasta que ellos verifiquen con el lawsuit.
So, why don't we just approve the removal and then we'll work with him.
And the agreement with the contingency of if they were selling the house is gonna be a referral cost of the association of whom they sell the house. Yeah.
So that motion.
Now, take this one step further. Usually when there's a payment plan, we can look at soft costs as well. Are we waiving soft costs? Right, because a payment plan, Artemis is going to charge us to put a payment plan in place and to monitor that payment plan. And so there's another cost that is added to the association. And then interest.
Yeah, whatever it costs, yeah, to have a payment plan.
So we want to
I
make
just
sure
think we
that
shouldn't charge him interest or late fees.
No, not that one.
We're gonna have to, I'm gonna have to talk to the accounting department to make sure he goes in.
Yeah, only whatever they.
Unless he made the deadline and
Yeah.
he started late.
Yeah.
But until then, just.
Until then, it's just gonna be just
All
there.
right, let's take it in chunks then. Let's just approve the removal and
With,
Vamos a aprobar, le van a aprobar que le quiten los paneles. La asociación va a cubrir el gasto por ahora, mientras se cogen la respuesta del abogado. Pero en todo este tiempo usted va a tener que firmar un acuerdo de pago para respaldación de ellos en caso de que el abogado no recupere su dinero. Y en ese acuerdo de pago va a haber una cláusula también que va a decir, en el evento de que usted vaya a decidir vender la casa, usted tiene esta deuda con la asociación y eso, antes de que cierre el caso, y eso se tiene que pagar para atrás a la asociación antes de que usted venda la casa.
Eso es legal.
Ujú.
Eso es legal.
Ok, so, y la instalación para atrás ya va a ser a costo suyo, ya a lo que usted quiera.
Ok, pero entonces lo que usted me comentó es de que la compañía cobraba 5.000.
775.
Es remoción e instalación.
correcto.
O sea, sería la mitad de lo que...
No se sabe cuánto van a cobrar por removerlos. No se sabe. Ahorita él está buscando la cosa.
Cuando los remuevan, la asociación tiene que tener una causa de la Airbnb, porque si lo remueven y eso se gana, después usted le van a tener que pagar todo ese dinero a su señor porque se dañaron los paneles.
Bueno, esa es la compañía.
Sería la compañía de Rufo, ¿no?
Es la compañía de Rufo.
Ellos se están encargando de eso.
The old one that it has to come across in the agreement, because if the association is responsible for all the panels, if the panels get damaged, you guys will be liable to pay them back. So you have to be something in that agreement that say every company has to pay a waiver.
We need an indemnification clause.
Tienes que tener un...
Ahora,
CCNR's already resolved this.
Anyway, the company is doing it, not us.
The only thing that's,
We are confronting the cost, but we are not doing it. It's the company.
They're gonna have general
Is
liability.
he current on his assessments? Before we won't give any more money, is he current on his assessments?
No, no.
You know, that's okay.
Anyway,
It's
let-
over and because assessment before you guys lend any more money. I think these are discussions between the board and.
Yeah, that needs to be.
I think right now there's no other option than to pay to have it removed.
And we have to,
Just
we
schedule.
need to fix that roof. Yeah.
¿Cuál es su dirección, señor?
3174.
3174,
Vía Palma.
Villa Palma.
No.
¿Qué pasa si no se recoge los procesos?
No le odio.
No recogemos, no tocar esa área.
He's asking, what if we just change the roof around the panels and not the... No se puede porque no van a garantizar el techo de esa manera. No van a garantizar el techo y el techo no va a quedar bien así. Usted tiene que entender que el papel que está en la madera es muy diferente a la calidad de lo que debe tener hoy en día.
Por eso te liqueo.
Eso no pasa inspección, eso no se puede hacer. O sea, no es una opción. Los paneles hay que bajarlo. Okay?
So when
Can you work with him on that, Chris, then? Writing up an agreement that he will take on that as a payment plan if we cannot recover it otherwise?
As soon as I have the dollar amount that we're looking at, I can actually grab something and email to them.
I'll have it by tomorrow. The guy said he would get it to me by tomorrow. So, cuando ya no tengan la cantidad que van a cobrar por remover los paneles, el abogado se va a contactar con usted para que firme el acuerdo de que usted se va a hacer responsable por eso si nosotros no podemos recuperar el dinero. Y yo voy a trabajar con usted a ver qué se puede hacer con la compañía de seguridad.
The amount and a good email address? Yeah, can I give you your
¿Me
email
puedes
address?
dar, tienes algún correo electrónico?
Can we do that?
Jugar,
¿Cómo?
jugar. J-U-C-A-R-S-E-3.
Okay, so we have to do the motion for the removal and to do how do you call that? The contract, the contingency for him.
You can do it in one motion, I think.
Yeah, correct. So just a contingency of payment plan? And Mary, just only the contingency with payment plan?
The motion for the board to approve the removals with the contingency with the payment plans and, because councils. Because, that you need to audit.
There's a motion.
And then,
Do it.
yeah.
All right, I'll go ahead and make the motion to pay for the removal of the solar panels at 3174 Via Palma with the contingency that homeowner will work with attorney in drafting an agreement that if this payment is not recoverable, that the homeowner will commit to a payment plan for the association to recover it.
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'll work with, figure out the specific terms of the payment.
Any opposed?
Only 6 persons.
No, so 6. Scott's not here no more. Okay?
So, I just want to say something. You guys said that with the new lawyers, we don't need the lawyers present in our meetings. We just witnessed a small case and a small example of how important it is to have a lawyer in every meeting, regardless of the fact that we may have a legal issue in the agenda or not. This is just a small example of why it's important to have a lawyer. So, having a new lawyer, that's not going to be present in these meetings, to me, I don't think it's the right thing to do.
Well, they can, if we want
No,
to.
well, but they're gonna charge.
Oh,
Correct.
So
So-
that to me is something that,
So what we said was not that the lawyer doesn't need to be here at any meeting. We said that,
I don't know, the meetings, Herman said, we send them the agenda, and if there's nothing legal in the agenda, they don't need to.
They give the option of,
And because
not
of
to be in
that-
person,
And because of that, it's not going to be that expensive, because they're gonna charge us to be here.
Yeah, for example.
For those
so
meetings.
if we have the attorney
And all I'm
here,
saying, is that we just witnessed a small example of why it's important to
But
have a
did you hear me
lawyer
what I say?
always,
So,
regardless of
Yeah.
the fact that we might have.
no, what I'm saying, like, if something like this happened, what I said also, that they are over the phone if we needed to, so we don't charge
and
completely
I
the
knew,
whole
I
hour.
knew he was coming for this, so if we needed the attorney to be here. But anyway, if we had the new attorney every meeting here for 3 hours, which is unusual for us to be here, it'll be under $10,000.
All I'm saying is,
Anyway, the board, if you
Anyway.
guys decide, we can.
Anybody else want to say anything open forum? All right, we've overstayed our stay today.
Are we going back to that sprinkler gutter thing that we were talking about?
The
Yeah,
what?
we do need to discuss that real quick.
There was a new business during old business about the gutter, it was at 3144 Community Rail North.
The gutter, okay.
Gutter.
So-
I contemplated about this. Last month, we approved money for gutter repairs, over on
31
the back of the
38.
range flow, wasn't it?
Yeah, 38.
Is that
31
work been
foot.
completed yet?
No,
Okay, so maybe we ask them to quote, doing what we need over here. If they're gonna be on site at the same time, we can get maybe a little bit more of a deal. Because they're gonna be here, they're gonna be doing work, the guys will be here, and if we're talking just, it looked like a garage. It was the length of the garage, or was the length of the
Yeah.
unit?
in next to the garage. So we can approve, like Marcelo was saying, around 1,000, and then if that's enough, then, they can do both.
Well, we approved up to $1,500
For the repair.
of
The-
Ranchulo.
Yeah,
And
the
that
front and the
was-
back.
Right, and that was much longer than what we're talking here.
Correct, repair.
$1,000 is probably a lot more than what we need to approve.
But is what Marcelo was saying, if we approve 500 and we come to the next meeting because it's 700, then we wasted the whole,
month.
yeah,
Right, but I'm saying we did $1,500 not to
Repair.
exceed
yeah,
for both sides of Ranchulo,
repair.
right, a repair, right, which is going to require some new pieces to be put in, right? Okay, so now you gotta look at the price, right? You look at your bike feet, how many feet are you gonna be dealing with, right? So just keep that in mind. I'm not
So
saying
how
I'm
much-
against $1,000, I'm saying that the cost for what we did over there should make sense compared to what we're going to approve to cover this new installation. Just try to put some context around the money that we're spending, and keeping cognizant.
But we don't need to
Right.
tell them that we.
For the interest of time, guys, can somebody make a motion of what you really want to do with this?
Yeah.
I'd like to say something, I'm sorry. Ms. Mary Jane, so you're the new manager, right?
Yes, sir.
So you are the seventh manager in Villa Sol in the last 15 months. I don't know what's going on with your company or if.
Seven
nobody
managers?
wants to
I don't know,
work
fíjate.
with the board, I don't know what's going on.
I think that's internal situation, so people move around with portfolio management, and the previous person before me, it was his choice to leave because people get better opportunities in life. So for me to disclose my business with my company, I'm not gonna do that in front of anybody. Okay, so I'm here to work with the community, to work with the board, not to give excuses, go back and, information that I'm not gonna volunteer to give to anybody.
Okay, so thank you for that. And
So,
for the rest of the four board that apparently are in agreement with, the ex-vice president and the president, what happened here is nothing compared to what happened on March 17, 2021. You all have my email. You can send me an email and I can show you the video. I can find it. What is happening here, unfortunately. This is the kind of person you've been working for the last 3.5 years, unfortunately. You four have the power to remove the other three if you don't like it, in case that you don't know them. Because what you see is happening, not everybody has a community of mind, they have their personal feelings. Food for thought. Mr. Wright, unfortunately, you've been backstabbed by the people that brought you to the community. Unfortunately. I feel sorry for you.
yeah, that's what we're doing.
So we go back to the motion.
So,
that.
Yeah,
Motion to adjourn?
no,
The motion, oh, we're doing the motion.
the motion for the repair.
Ma'am, please, can we go back to the motion of?
Yeah, the repair.
The repair of the gutter, let's go ahead and sign $1,000.
And then if
Not to
it's
exceed.
less,
Yeah.
not to exceed $1,000, and then if it's less, we rectify the number of the next.
That is my motion.
Okay, I second the motion.
So Jose, second by Herman, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then,
None opposed, motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
Can I get a motion to adjourn? Next meeting is March 21st, 2024.
I do the motion.
Herman, seconded by
Aye.
Jose, all in favor say aye. Aye.